So, Andrew, nice to meet you today. How are you?
Nice to meet you too. Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good. Looking forward to, just diving in, having a full-on chat.
So, Andrew this is my first call with Andrew, who is a coach in the sales department on the AI accelerator community. You know me for a while, and you saw my posts and my journey a bit. So, can you give me general advice?
I think you're doing things in the right direction. I think that's the first thing I would say is, pat yourself on the back when you're doing the right things. And there's a lot of people into this in business that kind of go in maybe with like not 1 foot forward, but kind of 1 foot, still holding back. You're definitely like jumping in the water in some bets. You're not like dipping your toes, if that makes sense. It's fully on like diving in. You've got lots of things going on, podcasts, all this stuff. You've got a team, you're growing and all that stuff. The truth is you're getting to a stage now, which a lot of business owners get to, which is it's boundaries and delegation. And it's going to be that you kind of on a business, you're going to see that it maybe goes backwards, but to go forwards, that's what you need. And most business owners, when they get to the stage of where you're at really, where staff members are getting, bigger and all these things, I lean on something called Eisenhower's Matrix. I don't know if you've ever come across it before, but Eisenhower's Matrix is basically 4 different boxes where you need to prioritize what tasks you're doing and make sure you're focusing on where your kind of efforts are. So I'll kind of break down the activity, but if you were to draw, say, 4 square boxes next to each other, and then make it like a graph. So at the top of the graph, I want you to have urgent, and then I want to make sure that you've got on the next stage of the graph, important. I'll show you if I can share quickly a breakdown of this, because as a visual, it's a really, really good way of understanding where you are at with it. So yeah, on the top, you're going to have put down here. So on the top, I want you to basically have a graph where you're going to say what's urgent and then not urgent. And then on the left-hand side, you'd have a graph on the axis, you'd have important and non-important. And the reason why you'd want to do this and why it's kind of key to do this is as a business owner, you want to make sure that your efforts are focusing on you working on the business and not working in the business. And what your interpretation of is you might be thinking something is urgent and important, which means, yes, you should be involved in it. But if something is, say, urgent but not important, is that something you can delegate? And obviously, if something's not urgent and not important, then you shouldn't be doing it at all. But by having this exercise where you've got these 4 boxes, and I'll share it with you after, and obviously, if you search it, called Eisenhower's Matrix, what you'll do is you'll start doing every single task that you are doing, you'll put into one of these boxes. And you need to have honest conversation with yourself when you are doing this. But when you do that, you'll start working out that you're working maybe too much in the business and not enough on the business. And working on the business is delegating. Working on the business is making sure that other people are doing roles that, say, if you took a week where you were not accessible, you're not available, this public speaking is going so great that you're booked out away for an entire week and you're not going to be able to be involved on, working with the business. It needs to be running efficiently. I always say this, like every business owner, you never know how great the business is until you walk out the door. And, you never know how good it is until it's working without you. And it's taking those steps. But before you just kind of up and go and, and try and see how it works, I really recommend that Eisenhower Matrix kind of mentality, which is start allocating tasks into where they fit. And the more honest you're at doing it, you'll get better at it. You should only really be focusing on tasks that are urgent and important. Everything else, if it's important but not urgent, delegate it to someone else. If it's important but not urgent, delegate it to somebody else. Only if it's important and urgent, that's where your time and focus should be.
So for important and urgent, that's a similar concept of Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of a Leader. Of effective people. He splits in the quadrants of activity, and the first quadrant is important and urgent. The second one is important but not urgent, and then third one is not important but urgent, like phone calls from other people. One is not important, not urgent, like relaxed time, but not relaxed, but some dead time. But so he insists on making more efforts on the second quadrant of development, and it's important but not urgent in the sense of personal development and investing into your growth. So that's a similar thing. But thank you for clarifying this for me. And for sure, I have yet a long path to learn because like I went through a lot of things in my life, and 51 years old, so I have about 30 years of all kinds of entrepreneurship below me.
Experience.
Yeah, but not all of them are successful, but I had also some nice things, and I think that most successful project of my life is my family, because I have quite a large family, four kids, and we have a happy family life. So I think that's important. So I also wrote several questions to discuss with you. And which single niche should we double down on for the next 90 days? And what criteria would you use to choose my niche? Like what aim, bring, avoid dilution, win rates, cycle lengths by niche. So how can I define? So I have my niche, more or less e-commerce, but I am considering also like coaching, AI for coaching, and all different stuffs. So what do you think?
Yeah, so I always think niching is the most important thing a business can do. Without a niche, you're kind of like driving without a direction. That's probably the right way of describing it. The easiest way you come to deciding it is really focus in making it not about money. And I know that sounds really weird, but if you build a business based on just the earning potential of it, you're a mercenary. You're not acting in the sense of what's great for you. You're just focusing on the outcome. And the problem with doing that is you'll lose the interest when you get money, and it will start being not as passionate to a project, really. Where if you focus on what you actually care about, you know, if I locked you, and I say this activity to a lot of people, if I locked you in a room full of people and they were your clients, who's the room full? You know, who's actually in that room that you wouldn't mind picking up a phone call to and having a conversation with them? Don't worry about money. And then the second activity is especially in AI, world is behind in AI. It's coming so fast. We've got a brilliant opportunity at the moment where I could probably put most people into most niches and they would be able to find a product that would benefit that niche. So the second thing is when you have your niche, don't rush to find a problem to solve. Really take time to have conversations and find what problems you can solve with AI. And by doing that, you'll find the things where more money can be made and it can be profitable. And by doing this, now you're not a mercenary, you're working in something that you're passionate with, working with something that you have a keen interest, and you're benefiting from money from it in earnings. So I always say to people, if it's coaching and you've got a really passionate thing about coaching, cool, brilliant, stick to that. But then before you even spend time investing in solutions and all these things, have conversations with coaches and really dive into what problems that they have that you can create an AI solution for. But I really want to highlight the biggest bit I'm saying is you are not bringing the problems to them. They're bringing the problems to you. If I called a coach and was saying, I think that you've got these problems, they're never going to be that committed to fix those problems because it is my that I've put them onto them. Where if I have a conversation with a coach and they say, well, actually, these are the problems that I face, and I just ask them, okay, quick question, how important is it to fix these problems? That's the stuff that you want to invest your time, niche, and energy into when it builds to AI products.
Yeah, Andrew, I absolutely agree with it. As only by talking a lot with clients, and I think that Eric quoted an example where they said for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, with the same group of people to understand their problems, and after that they built a business around this solving these problems. So it takes weeks and weeks and tens of hours for me as well. So we speak with people, and for some things that we thought would be the solution for this niche, we find out that people do not treat this as a problem at all. So yeah, that's a very important part.
To make a great quote from Eric, to quote Eric in a great way, as Eric said on one of his insights previously, make the client's problems more exciting than the solution that you're going to provide for them. And in doing that, you'll make more money. And I think it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant quote. I might have butchered it. I might have said the wrong thing, but it's basically those principles. Make their problems more exciting than the solution you're trying to provide for them.
That's interesting. So if you had to rewrite a core offer to make it a no-brainer, what would be a promise, proof, price, months, or hybrid? So about actually the core offer for AI. So can you give example, or even so I work for a while, and I can, whenever I meet people, I can by talking to them I can make an offer, but by writing it in paper on the screen I always have some problem with clarity. So what kind of advice do you give for this offer?
I'll give you a really quick framework that works really well. So with an offer, it's really important that you present what you do in the simplest form for that person to understand. And the way you do this is 4 different things. Number 1, make it specific about the audience and who you're talking to. So don't say deal with marketing companies. I deal with marketing companies that focus on email outreach, between 20 to 50,000 pounds per month revenue. The more specific you are, the more likely the person's going to listen, because they're hearing themselves in the message that you're saying. Point number 2, lead with a problem. Don't lead with a solution. Don't talk about yourself. It's not you that's important. It's what you're going to do for the person. So if I'm speaking to marketing companies, email marketing companies, the first thing I would say is, we've seen companies that are wasting about 30 to 40 hours a week on specific tasks. So I'm making it clear about what they are, what's the pain, what's the problem. Now, if I can add emotion into it, even better. We're dealing with overworked marketing companies who are wasting time and losing maybe 20 to 30 hours a week. Again, it's very problem driven, but it's also focusing not just on the logic, but the emotion that comes with that. The next stage, number 3, is focusing on what life looks like after working with you. So I always like saying, cool, we're helping them discover not only finding these hours, but utilizing them so they can boost their outreach and be able to maybe increase their revenue by 10-15%. Now, this is me running off the bat, but my point is you're making a promise now of what life will be like with you. And then the last thing, number 4, is put a time to it. And it takes me 30 days or 60 days of working with these people, working with someone to get this all working. The reason why we have the date is if I said, I'm going to promise you a 6-pack, you're going to look absolutely great, but then I didn't say anything afterwards, you've got no idea about what that commitment will even look like and how long it will take me to get to my results. Wherein if your offer, if I said it's going to be 30 days, now you visually can see what it is like to work with me and what I'll get at the other end. And why this is really key is if you add all of those points together, you've got this person knows me, they know the pain that I'm going through, they've clearly demonstrated what life would look like without that pain, and they've told me how long it's going to take in working with them to get to that result. If you add that all together, you've got a really clear, simple way of getting your offer across.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for this framework. Usually with the framework that we talked with Eric as well, is Alex Hormozy formula about dream outreach and the level of time and also exercise and like investment that you make into this your dream outreach and easiness of completion. Another thing is, what minimum viable proof do we need to command premium pricing in the
Nope. And I'm going to be honest with this, you don't need proof. Proof is actually one of those things that you don't need. A lot of companies start without proof. If you haven't got proof, you just need to do bigger deeping to collect more data and then use guarantees. But don't offer a guarantee just blind. Collect data from your discovery so much that you can be confident that you can provide a solution to do that. So I like guarantees, but don't offer a guarantee without knowing that you actually can fulfill what you're guaranteeing. There's no point. It's a waste of everyone's time. But if you do your own discovery and you ask enough questions to go deep enough in discovery, then what you can do is get that client on board by, again, painting a picture of where they are right now, and then also showing them what life will look like afterwards, and putting a guarantee in place of that you can get them there. And sometimes, and my last tip with this is, the guarantee doesn't have to be the result. The guarantee could be just a part of that result that builds enough trust for you to get them on board to finish the job. But you don't need to wait for social proof. You don't need to wait for the right marketing. You don't need to wait for case studies. You don't need to wait for these. Whilst people are waiting for this evidence and proof, other people are just coming in with no experience at all and getting clients on by doing really good discovery.
Yeah, thank you. That's very smart way of thinking. If you don't have enough data for the real proof, so discovery would be. We need to do more about discovery. For the offer, would you price as retainer setup plus retainer, milestone based or revenue share? Where would you set anchor, list, and floor?
Yeah, so it depends a lot on the clients that you're working with. So I recommend, and it also depends on what stage you are in your journey. So if you're someone who's starting out, your confidence might be low and connected to pricing. So I always recommend for those individuals that are starting out, work on fixed base pricing. Try and get a level of pricing. And the way you can do this is just sit back and calculate how many hours it should take to do this task. Not how many hours it's going to take you, but how many hours it's going to take to do the task. And then calculate an hourly rate that you believe is acceptable for where you're at and use that as a fixed base price. If you're really unsure of that, offer the work in the sense of you only pay if there's a result for it, and just take the experience of learning the process as your price basically. But for someone who's got more experience and then now confident, maybe this is a solution that you've delivered once or twice, then you're in a position to have a higher rate. So you could charge an hourly rate for your service of whatever you're doing. You could even charge a rev share. But the only reason why I'm really against people doing that as an early stage in the process is they don't even know yet if it works. They've not got the confidence yet to say that solution's going to provide it. So for me, I'm fixed base pricing, setup fee pricing, and all of these things for the early stages. And then for later on, if you can get rev share, do rev share, but only do rev share. It's like the guarantee if you have the data to support you and the confidence to put that offer together. My biggest point though, and I say it, is value-based pricing. Have conversations again in the discovery to work out how valuable this is. If you realize that you're going to save $10,000 a month for a client, easy conversation would be, okay, how much would you pay to get $10,000 a month? Put it back on them. And if they're like, well, I don't know, be like, cool, 20%. If I gave you $1 and you're getting $5 back, do you think that's a good investment? Yeah, brilliant. Well, let's start at the 20% marks. Value-based pricing is a really good way to kind of close off and get a good price for you as well.
Thank you, Andrew. So my next two questions will be around outreach, cold outreach, and about inbound marketing. So first one is about outreach, as we tried some outreach campaigns with Instantly, and we connected more than 5 or 6 domains and about 10 to 12 email accounts, but still we don't see real results. But we started with clients who sell actually physical products, but now we are moving to offering our offers because we have already some experience, and we want to offer AI plus e-commerce setup and analysis because we are experiencing that, and we work with 2 agencies together, and we have more than 150 Shopify shops in our belt in the experience.
Wow.
So we have some experience with setting, with teaching. And so we want to combine AI plus setup of shops. What do you think our proposition should be to attract people? What I think is, I could say that we already analyzed your website. We recorded a video that we want to share with you. In which format should we share it with you? Do you want to see it? But we will start recording it only after they reply. So if they're interested in our analyzing them with our systems, with our conversation rate systems, checklist, and our AI solutions. So if they reply to us, we can show them what we can do with AI, what we can do with setup of shops. So do you think how this offer, like title and offer, should look like maybe in ballpark?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it works. I think my approach to outreach is always lead with curiosity, where too many people lead with, I can do something for you. That's their first message. It's like, I can do something for you, or you're doing this. Treat it as you don't even know if you can even help that client And by doing that, you're using disarming, non-threatening language, which means that they're more likely to be enticed with you. So I like your approach of the video, but I would make the first message or whatever outreach I'm doing that kind of initial offer I just discussed. Hey, look, I work with e-commerce businesses who are coming against this problem. This might not even be right for you, but I've got something that I think could maybe help. Is this something just at curiosity that you're looking at right now? No more than that. Really minimalistic message. But if they were to reply back to me, then I send the video. Because if I send the video, I've created enough of a curious hook that they're sitting there going, well, actually, I didn't think of that, but this person could be a facilitator for that solution. So for outreach, that's it. And then my second tip with outreach is never get attached to the outcome. People do that where they're like, oh, well, I didn't get a lot of results. Outreach is about consistency. On average, there's a lot of studies out there that it takes 9 times for someone in outreach to actually start building trust in wanting to engage in conversations and speak with you. Google, who obviously know a lot of things, Google said it's 11 touch that people need to have before they see enough trust in you to bring you on as a customer or as a, be a client of yours. So the key with outreach is too many people give up on the 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 when it comes to outreach. It's not about doing it 4 times. It's doing it about 9 to 15 times over a period of time and then getting your result there. But I think your video, to answer your question, I think it's very smart, but I'd have a leading question, not about what you're going to do for the person, but more striking their curiosity if that's even a problem that they have.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. So I heard a formula similar to what you quote, some like magic formula, like 11 people should see you 11 times on 5 different channels for 3 hours or something like that. So they have a combination of omni-channel plus times plus time.
Yeah.
It's then people come to know you and trust you and can ask something from you. And I noticed it a lot, by the way, going to the next question, that with my YouTube channel, with my, I made 100 offline masterclasses about Etsy and e-commerce between 2015 and 2020, each 2 weeks of the course of 5 years. And then sometimes 2 people came, sometimes 20 people, sometimes I was invited to speak in front of 500 people. So there was different events, but I was not attached to the results. And now I see that people in Ukraine know me from my this activity for 10 years. So I go to different channels. I speak on Nova Poshta, Ukrposhta, and last year we went to five cities of Ukraine. And in one city in Odessa, we went into Bristol Hotel, 5-star hotel in the center of Odessa. It's a historical center. And this hotel was destroyed by a Russian rocket in 1 month. Like exactly this place was completely destroyed. So it's also, you see, and we spoke, when I was invited there, we spoke with so nice people, top agencies, market agencies, owners of Ukraine, and so many entrepreneurs from different cities. So this kind of events, they go on and it's combined in. But now I want to become an authority and the person who people want to come to in terms of technical support and AI solutions. And so I grow my team and I started doing the podcast, and my podcast is in English. So people are not used to me speaking in English. We spoke Russian. Everybody spoke Russian in Ukraine, like 70%, 80%. Now 20% speak Russian because they don't want to speak Russian. But it's okay for Ukraine to speak any language. So don't mind speaking any language. But I speak Ukrainian most of the time. And I started doing English, so people are amazed. They're like not frustrated, but they're perplexed how they don't understand why you speak. I want to go into international because I see that I'm quite limited by Ukrainian market, and I want also to make my outreach in my inbound systems in LinkedIn. I do it every day. Every day I make a post on LinkedIn, and every day three times per week I do podcast 30 to 40 minutes on YouTube. Plus I do 5 shorts per day on YouTube. Now I'm going like 1,000 views per day by shorts in average, about 1,000 per day. Mostly from shorts, because my long-form videos are still getting like 20, 30 views. But on LinkedIn, we grow. Also, I post these interviews, this post. And this week I got 4,000 impressions, 4,000 views for my...
Amazing.
So even 1 month ago, it could not be more than 1,000. But I published with Shreya Patar. This thought, it got 2,000 views, one post. So you see sometimes something happens. Also, I tag different people. So when I go interviews with Nordic AI, with different people, they repost my post, and it grows like 10 times sometimes. So my post gets like 100 here and 1,000 there, and have 20, 30 comments on this post. So it looks like a nice system. So I like to speak with people. I learn from you. I learn from people. I get new connection, networking, and also it helps me to grow in my visibility. And I build this, so I like it a lot. And maybe you can comment.
It's a brilliant idea. Well, like I said, I think Google's was 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 different platforms. And the good thing is you're doing plenty of that. So if I was a client, maybe I'm someone who's debating on working with you, I might go, well, I don't want to have a chat with him because, I've not got to that level yet of wanting to make a commitment. You've got an entire portfolio that they could learn about you, how you interact with people, how you talk, how you educate people before they even start working with you. So I think the key thing is, like, as I said at the start, you're not dipping your toes in, you're jumping into the water with a full effort. Keep doing it. And consistency is key. And what we tend to find, even Liam, and if you look at Liam's YouTube metrics, it goes like very much like nothing, and then it just takes off with that. So if he gave up when he wasn't seeing the results, obviously it wouldn't have been as successful as he is. The key thing I'm saying is I can't add in any tips on that. I think just keep going in the best possible way. But I want to praise you as saying, like, fantastic, like, amazing efforts for doing it for such a long period of time. The language change obviously is going to have an adjustment period, but by being known in an international audience means that there's more eyes that can watch your stuff, more eyes that can get it, more eyes that can understand it, which means you've got more clients' abilities as well to kind of pick up.
Thank you a lot, Andrew. So